falling down on the job, so busy gabbing, and I didn't even make it to other people. So welcome, everyone. My name is Sue Witter. I'm one of the practitioners here, and I am so grateful to see new faces or returning faces in the room. Welcome to the West Valley Center for Spiritual Living. So today, Reverend Karen is out of town, and we have the great joy of having Reverend Clyde do the talk for us today. So we're very happy about that. Kay is here as our practitioner. So remember, from my perspective, that being here, taking time out of your day to honor the truth of who you are, to spend time in spiritual reflection, is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself. So thank you for honoring yourself, whether you're here in this room or watching online. So thank you for being here. And we start always with our mission, our vision statement. So if you will repeat this with me. We are a loving, joy-filled community honoring the many paths of God as we learn and live the science of mind principles. So we have announcements that will come to you on the weekly e-news, and I believe there's something printed out in the bookstore. So please keep track of what's going on. We have a lot of fun things happening. And I think that's all for me so far this morning. So we're just going to turn it right over to the Bradfords to bring us back into that centered spot, knowing that all is well.
So just take a deep breath. Getting into that peaceful place where spirit resides.
I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord.
Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know.
I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord.
Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know.
I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place.
Be still and know that God is in this place, right here, right now. Be still and know that God is the ever-present, everlasting Spirit, the sweet Spirit of love and joy and peace and all that is good. The sweet Spirit that resides in each one of us. The sweet Spirit that is in the trees, in the sky, in the grass, in the plants, in the flowers, and all things and all beings, and all situations in this universe. It is all God. And knowing this, I know that each one of us is one with that divine spirit that expresses in each one of us. And I claim and affirm this, that we are all the divine expressions of Sweet Spirit. Divine expressions in our unique ways. Divine expressions of love and joy and peace. And a word of blessing for all of those here today and all of those who are not, all of those watching online and in this room. And a word of blessing for all those that are in service today, making this service possible. And for the Bradfords, their beautiful music that touches our hearts and souls and uplifts us in every way. And for Reverend Clyde, knowing that the words of God are effortlessly flowing through him, and he speaks through the heart, and to each one of us, knowing his words are absolutely perfect for us to hear. And with gratitude, I release my words into the law, knowing it is already done. It is so, and so it is. My reading today is from 7,000 Ways to Listen by Mark Nepo. Deep listening requires letting go of our internal argument with the world. Before we can truly listen, we must exhaust ourselves of our assumptions. In truth, if we are to ever glimpse the world outside the stubborn certainty of our minds, we have to put down our ready answer to everything. This necessitates an inner discipline so that I don't finish your sentence in my mind or search my storehouse of opinions for rebuttal or defense of the world as I see it. Letting go of my internal arguments with the world means not pushing off everything that comes my way. It requires my looking at you as a sudden fish that has surfaced from the deep. It requires bringing you water rather than judgments. Let's take a minute to contemplate that. And so it is.
When I look in your eyes, I see the beloved looking back at me. When I stand next to you, I can feel the beloved in you. You are in my soul, you are my inspiration. With you in my heart, I am never alone. We are one. There is no separation. When I rest in you, I'm whole. When I touch your heart, I feel the beloved touching me. And when I open my heart, I open to the beloved in you. Beloved in you. Beloved in you. Beloved in you.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to West Valley Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Clyde Goins, and I want to go into the announcements like I always do right now. I'm like, I got to change my thinking. So thank you, Kathy and Rod. That song, today we're talking about who is Christ, and that song that you sang was just perfect and for this message that we have today. I do have a couple of quick just announcements. So first is that so Reverend Karen she is off today. She's off all week. She's in California right now. She's with her family, and they're spreading Hugh's ashes in all their favorite places in California that they used to visit. So we're just knowing that we're surrounding their family with love and knowing that they're having a beautiful experience as they're moving through this. And then I also want to remind you that today is Dining with the Dudes. So we have a lot of great food. So if you would like to join us after service, we have a bunch of great food to share with each other and some wonderful fellowship. So all right, so today's topic, or my topic for today, is who is Christ? And when we were reviewing this chapter in the Science of Mind textbook about a month ago or so, this topic really resonated with me. So I remember when I first started reading The Science of Mind, and it was really hard for me to understand the concepts and what Ernest Holmes was teaching. But the more I study and the more that I commit to my spiritual practice, I have these subtle nudges in consciousness that deepen my connection with God. I really love this stuff. So if we're looking at these pictures, based on the pictures alone, which religion would you choose? I'm leaning towards Buddhism. When I think about Jesus and I think about Buddha, these are the images that come to mind. Both had very different spiritual paths. Both endured suffering only to show us the way to God and the way to live in harmony with life. Jesus was a first century Jewish carpenter from Nazareth in Galilee, and he became a master teacher who performed many miracles of healing. Scholars studied the life of Jesus say that he started teaching the gospel when he was about 30 years old, and he only taught it for about 3.5 years. It's amazing how Jesus influenced so many lives in such a short period. What can we accomplish in 3.5 years? So Buddha was born in Nepal to a wealthy, affluent parents. Buddha's father wanted to shelter him from the misery of all the world, so Buddha was raised in the compounds of their palace where everyone on staff was healthy and happy. When he learned about the outside world, Buddha abandoned his family to live as a wandering ascetic. Leading a life of begging, asceticism, and meditation, he attained enlightenment, and he taught the middle way. So the definition of ascetic is a person who lives a strict, self-disciplined life, contemplation, and without pleasures and comforts. So both teachers were committed to their spiritual growth and their understanding of who they are and their relationship to God and life. We are lucky because we have the best of both worlds. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, he added science to the mix and created a philosophy that would help us on our spiritual path. Ernest Holmes never intended to start a new religion. He wanted to teach people spiritual principles. He believed that the ultimate goal in life is to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be obtained by all. Discord of every nature. That term, that phrase never really resonated with me. I could never relate to it. But what he was teaching was to live in harmony with life, to be at peace, and to feel the love of God. He taught spiritual principles to help us experience this harmony and to remember our truth. So when I think of our religion, I think of the image. This image is what comes to mind. I use this image in my ordination bulletin because I feel God's love. I understand spiritual principles. I accept that I am a child of God, and I am committed to my spiritual path. I'm not always on top of the mountain. Sometimes I have challenges just like you. I may be wandering around down in the valley and sometimes even hiding in a cave. We are a teaching organization, and we focus on spiritual principles, our relationship to God, and we support each other on our spiritual journey called life. We do not tell you how to live, but we try to educate you and provide you with tools to live the life that you want to experience. Buddhism's goal is to become enlightened and reach nirvana, and nirvana is the freedom of suffering. Jesus' goal was to show us a way to have a relationship with God. Ernest Holmes' goal was to help us live in harmony. So where do we come from? Where are we going? Why are we here? Who are we? Our life is a journey of self-discovering and learning and evolving. Jesus and Buddha asked the same questions. As a minister, one of our commitments we agreed to during our ordination is to our spiritual growth. I love this commitment. I love the idea that I will spend the rest of my life deepening my relationship with God, experiencing more love and harmony, and helping people along the way. If we stay open and keep asking ourselves these questions, we begin to discover our truth. For the last 4 years, we have a Wednesday night study group where we have been studying the Science of Mind textbook page by page. This spiritual practice has allowed us to explore our spirituality, what we believe, and who we are. We are teaching each other, and it's been a wonderful experience to learn, grow, and support each other on the spiritual path. We have about 1.5 years to go, and I'm enjoying every Wednesday night. So Jesus and Buddha were committed to their spiritual growth. It reminds me of hiking on a trail. The path is worn enough to help guide us, but at the same time, there's all these offshoots that we can and choose to go down. The great thing about our spiritual path is that all the offshoot trails that we explore will eventually lead us back to our main path. We believe that all paths lead to God, and that is why we honor all religions and even those who are atheists. I took this picture when I was hiking on the Appalachian Trail. I've hiked the Appalachian Trail 3 different times, 1 week at a time. So we actually hiked for 5 full days. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's not easy and it's not fun. But what I would share with you, it is a wonderful experience where you really do commune with nature and you would commune with life itself. So one of my friends that was hiking with us, he's actually hiked this trail all the way through, straight through, and it took him 6 months to hike it. And so every day hiking for 6 months, and it was an incredible experience, and I just think it would be just a beautiful way to experience life itself. So what I want to discuss today is the 3 beliefs that anchor me in my spirituality. Some are recent, and one was a seed that changed my life. So I believe that every person and situation comes into our life to remind us of our truth. Sometimes I'm too busy adding my drama to the situation that I forget who I am. No need to worry, because life is patient. God is love, and we will keep receiving opportunities until we learn and evolve. Our reality that we are experiencing right now is a reflection of our beliefs. The people that are in our lives is a reflection of who we are. God supports us, loves us, and we get to choose the life that we want to experience. Ernest Holmes says, we cannot live a choiceless life. Every day, every moment, every second, there is a choice. Every decision and every action we take in each moment is planting seeds for our future. Life is always reflecting back to us our choices and our beliefs. If we live consciously right now and make decisions that support our good, we will experience heaven on earth. The people in our life, the experiences that we have, are based on our past decisions and our actions. We cannot change the current situation, but we can learn from it and make decisions to experience the life that we want. What happens is we get stuck in the situation, or we stop growing, or we keep repeating the same situation or same action, hoping for a different outcome. Accept what is, because we cannot change the current situation, but we can change the future. Ernest Holmes teaches us to live a conscious life. My personal goal this year is to accept and surrender, and this is not an easy path. I may have to carry this goal over into next year as well. Feel the feelings, experience the situation, and ask yourself if this supports your good. We are responsible for our happiness, and life is supporting us based on our decisions and our actions. Life is reflecting back to us what we believe. So I have a prayer partner. I might have shared with you guys before, Sherry Wood. Her and her partner came to our ordination, my ordination, and they've been together for about 25 years. And so we have been praying together for several years, as prayer partners for several years, and we get together every week, once a week, and we share stories about our lives, and we pray with each other. So I recommend, if you don't have a prayer partner, to find a prayer partner and start it. It's just a beautiful experience. But Sherry and Christine, they came together 25 years ago, and both of them brought 3 boys into the relationship. So can you imagine all the people that came into their lives, all the experiences that they had and have? Just imagine adding, so today they have 5 of their boys are married, and they have 9 grandsons. So just adding 5 women to the mix changed the dynamics of their family. They have a beautiful relationship with their sons and their daughter-in-laws, and they have grandma duty all the time. They get to love up their newest grandbaby, and then they get to go on adventures with their 9-year-old grandson. Sherry is committed to her spiritual growth, and I get to witness this love and beauty every week. When I was praying with her a couple weeks ago, I had this image of this beautiful flower box that came to mind. So when we talk about her family, I see this image of this beautiful flower box with all these different flowers, all these different colors, different shapes, and different sizes, and different smells. And she tends to her garden. She pulls out the weeds. She showers her flowers with love, and then she enjoys all the beauty that life has to offer. So are you stuck in a situation? Or are you making choices to experience the more good in your life? So another belief I have that has fortified my spiritual truth and allows me to stay hopeful is life is forever evolving to the highest and best good. Regardless of the condition, life only moves in one direction: more good, more love, and more expression. This spiritual principle has resonated with me over the last couple of years. It's moved me from my head to my heart. It's moved from my head to my heart, and I know that I know. It's easy to be afraid when we're experiencing difficult situations in our life or in the world around us. If we can step back, go within, and remember that life is always evolving, and we are part of it. I stand on this truth when I see all the crazy stuff on the news. I stand on this truth when I experience difficult times in my personal life. So a couple years ago, as a world, we were living in a very scary time. And now look where we are today. I'm not saying that all life is wonderful and perfect right now, but think about where you were in 2020. What was going on with you in 2020? And look where we are today. I still have an image in my head of Reverend Karen, Julie, Sue, Cheryl, all sitting crunched around together, all holding cell phones to have our Sunday service. We did not give up or give in because we leaned into our faith, knowing that life will return to some balance and evolve to something more. More good, more love, and more expression. When we look to nature and we witness major environmental damages like a fire or a flood or tornadoes, we also witness life rebuilding after the storm. It doesn't make it any easier, and we can experience pain and loss. But if we stay open and we know that life only moves in one direction, we allow our faith to carry us forward. So I've shared this story with you before as well, that when before I moved here, I was living in Dallas, and I was working for the same company but a different position. And the job that I had at the time, I really loved the job. I really loved the people that I was helping, but I hated the people I worked with. So it was just not a good fit, and I had no respect for my boss that I had at the time, and it was a very difficult time for me. And so I remember driving into work one day after I had just lost my brother, and I was off work for about a week and was at his funeral, and I was driving into work, and I remember telling myself, I'm just not ready to jump back into the frying pan. I was not ready to get back into the mix of all of this ugliness, I would just call it. And so when I arrive at work, my boss pulls me into the office, and he lets me know that they reorganized our department, and they eliminated my position. And so what happened is, and I was really surprised, because at the time our company was really growing like crazy, and he could have just moved me to another department, but instead he just fired me. So when I left, I called my minister for prayer, and then I called a senior leader in the company to let her know about the situation. So a month later, I was rehired with the same company, and here I am. So I love my job now. It's still very, very challenging. I have an incredible boss, and I'm helping people in hospitals all over the United States. This is a perfect example. When one door closes, another door opens. Life is always evolving to more love, more good, and we are part of life. When you experience a difficult situation, can you stay open and lean into your faith? Do you have a spiritual practice that can help you carry you forward? Call a practitioner, pray, meditate, say your mantras. All of my spiritual practices help me remember my truth. So Buddha taught the middle way. He taught that we live a life of suffering because we resist change. All the physical, emotional, and mental pain we experience is brought on by our own self. Everything is changing. You grow with it or you grow away from it. Nothing is permanent. We try to hold on to a person or we try to hold on to a situation and we suffer. Change can be scary, and that's why we have practitioners to help support you through change. Our COVID experience anchored me in this truth. Yes, we were living in scary times, but I knew and I believed that we would move through it and I stayed open to the good. I know that life only evolves in one direction: more good, more love, and more expression. I try to live a conscious life. I accept my current conditions in my life, and I make choices that support my good, and I leave the rest to God. So what do you do to stay centered in love and in peace when things look scary and challenging? So my first shift in consciousness, when I first walked through the doors of Science of Mind, I took my first foundation class, and I took the foundation class, and it started this beautiful journey that I call my spiritual path. As I know that I am a child of God. So I knew of God, and I knew that there was God somewhere out there, but when I learned and I understood and I accepted that I was a child of God, it was a game changer. I meditated on this idea. I said my mantras and affirmations that supported this idea. And this belief is the foundation of my spirituality. It's not an idea, it's my faith. I accept that I am a child of God. So Ernest Holmes says, there is a point in the supreme moment of realization where the individual merges with the universe, but not to the loss of his individuality, where a sense of oneness of all life so enters his being that there is no sense of otherness. So Buddha and Jesus experienced it. Jesus spent much of his time communing with his own soul, for it is through our inner thoughts that we connect with God. Buddha meditated and contemplated life for many years until he became enlightened. It doesn't surprise me that Jesus performed all the miracles. Jesus understood that the human body, when the human body embodies the divine, it manifests the Christ nature. Jesus was the Son of God, just like we all are. He understood and accepted this truth. He taught us a way to live. So in the Bible, John 3:16, it says, Jesus Christ was the only begotten Son of God. So Ernest Holmes says that Christ means the universal idea of sonship. The mystical conception of Christ is embodied in any individual who recognizes this sonship. So I want to read a quote from Eckhart, from the book from Eckhart, one of the great mystics of the Middle Ages, and how Ernest Holmes explains the begotten Son. So this is what Eckhart said. God never begot but one Son, but the eternal is forever begetting the only begotten. So this is an example when I first started reading Science of Mind. I was like, what is he saying? All right? So let me read it again so you can really understand it. So, God never begot but one Son, but the eternal is forever begetting the only begotten. This conveys the same sense as our New Testament statement, world without ends. This world forms and disintegrates as our body does, but creation goes on forever. Therefore, the eternal is forever begetting that which is the realization of its own perfection. It is the eternal process. It is the Son of God, and the Son of God is Christ. So we are the child of God. Life is expressing through us, and the question is, do you believe? Do you accept this truth, not as an idea, but as your faith? The mystical conception of Christ is the embodiment in the individual who recognizes the sonship. When we accept that we are a child of God, we consciously step into the flow of life. Jesus knew the kingdom of heaven was within us. He understood his own nature. He was an individualized expression of God. And so what do I say every single Sunday when we get together? That we are an individualized expression of God. Because I believe it. We all are the Christ. Let me say that again. We all are the Christ, the Son of God, the child of God, born into this world to love and to live and experience life. Jesus accepted this truth. So can we. So I want to close with the reading that will also be my prayer. And I would just ask that if you would close your eyes and allow my words to wash over you. And we don't need to play the music today. See, everything works like clockwork around here now. I love it. All right. Just simply relax into this beautiful space, this place of love. Feel the love that's here in our community. That presence of that divine spirit that is always with us, that is in, through, and all around us. So we recognize this beauty in life. We recognize this beauty in all the people that we meet, all the experience that we have. Because there's only God. There's only God expressing. There's only God experiencing. And we are part of that. We are that individualized expression of God, that child of God. We are the Christ because we are born into this world to express life to express love, to express creativity, and to express connections with everyone. So we come together every Sunday to remember this truth that we are that son, that daughter, that child of God. And so as we allow this truth to wash over us, simply allow my words to anchor us in this truth that we are that child of God. Thou art the center and the circumference of my life, the beginningless and the endless part of me, the eternal reality of me, the everlasting power within me, the eternal good working through me, the infinite love impelling me, the limitless peace and calm within me, the perfect light living through and in me, the joy of the soul and the light of the Spirit illumining me. O Lord, God, eternal, forever blessed, thou art my whole being. And so it is.
Grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have. Everywhere I look and every face I see, His love reflected shining back to me. I just give thanks for all these simple things, the joy and peace that gratitude brings. That's why I'm grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have.
Once again, thank you, Bradford, as always. So, thank you, Reverend Clyde. And it's interesting, I had a pastoral class all weekend, and we were talking about this very subject on how to be able to embody that Christ consciousness that lives in us all. So it was just like I was still in class. Anyway, so it is time for us to look at our joyful giving, our consciousness of good. We do not pass the basket any longer. We have a box that's back there in the back by the practitioner room, one that's here on the way into Papke Hall, and one out in home space. So if you would just drop your gifts in tithes into either of those, any of those boxes. And if you'll take your gift, whether you've sent it in already or not, and just repeat with me, I live in a consciousness of good. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. So it is. So thank you, everyone. Again, it's really important to come enjoy the dining with the dudes. It's so nice to have that back, that level of fellowship that is just makes my heart happy. So thank you, everybody, and take us home.
Please rise for our last song. Oh, it feels so good to be alive. Sing it with me. Oh, it feels so good to be alive. Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live. Oh, 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 it feels so good to be alive. Oh, 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 it feels so good to be alive. One more time. Oh, 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 it feels so good to be alive. Woo. 98.
All right, so let's just say our closing affirmation together, and then we're going to go eat some good food. So just repeat after me. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. And so it is.